This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Greetings, salutations, and hi. Hello, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host, Paparazzo Dave Chapman. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. It's going to be such a fun episode. We are reviewing Wish World today. So I hope you've seen the penultimate episode of this season. Because it was, well, we'll find out. Was it fabulous? I think it was fabulous. Or do I think it's fabulous? You'll have to wait for me to actually decide. No, I thought it was fabulous. Spoiler. It's going to be a great time today. We're going to have a fun talk. And, of course, next week, we will still do a watch party for the final episode, Reality War. But it will not be in the middle of the night. North American time. It will be at, I believe it's 10 to 7 British time, whatever that works out backwards to us. Make sure you're subscribed to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and keep your eyes open, and we will hit that little notification bell and you'll know when we are live for that. But as far as today goes, of course, as usual, I'm not alone. So let's bring up a cat. It's a cat.
It's Sam Mittens, based on Sam Gloves, who disappeared after Timescale said, "Oh, you're the guy that stalks the Reverend Amagon."
Just poof. I wanted you to put on gloves. It was a bit.
Well, I don't have my mittens on. It's kind of hot outside. Ring, ring. Yeah, so I answered that phone. Uh-huh.
Yes, and the answer, of course, was whether the doubt we would start on time. Of course not. We don't start on time here. We start on whatever time we get around to. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yes, it is. Just out of curiosity, do you have a D10? Because I think I might want to wish my number today.
I can certainly get a D10 ready for you.
Perfect, because I have no idea what number to give this.
All right. And of course, we have hiding in the back here, Zion. Hello. Hey, Zion, how's it going?
Good. Just like Kennedy, man. I don't know exactly what to give this thing.
Well, then we'll roll yours too, maybe. I don't know. And of course, we do have our producer hiding in the back as well, Christian, who I normally introduce first when I'm doing all these, but there was a cat there, so I had to introduce Sam Mittens.
Hello.
How's it going, Christian?
It's going great, guys, and I'm excited because tonight we are going to be introducing our new sponsor, and I think this is going to be a first for any Doctor Who podcast. We're definitely really excited about this new sponsor and how it goes, because I don't think usually most bigger podcasts, they do coffee, they do vaping, they do all other stuff. Tonight we're going to probably be the first one to do this, and I'm sure most cooking shows might have one, but I would say a Doctor Who podcast, nah, we're going to be the first one. So I'm really excited about this. But you'll have to see later on when we go to the commercials tonight who is our new sponsor.
Exactly. We'll have to hang out, figure out the commercial break when we get to the commercial break.
Yes, we will.
Woo! Yeah, I moved Tom around, so Tom's now lost.
What else is new?
Good point. Good point.
Lost and heartbroken. Oh,
We don't have a ton of news here, but we do have some news. So we've got Gadget here. So we'll bring Gadget in and start the Who Knew news for the day.
Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready. Gadget, however, is busy on the phone. So.
Oh,
phoning it in.
are you a little too busy for us right now for a live show?
On
mute.
you.
You got to turn on your microphone too, dear heart.
Can you hear?
I know.
the
I was like,
thunder?
guys, they got doubts. They got doubts. Get them over here now. I know it was gonna be too good. Yeah, no, the mic is acting up on everything. I think it's just one of those days and everything. And you can see how I sound. I've had the worst weekend ever. So some of this news cheered me up a little bit, especially thank you to KDG Angel also, which she was promoting like crazy because I think my wallet is going to go too and everything. But let's start with happy birthdays first. And our very own Pearl Mackey, our wonderful, if I gotta get the numbers right, 12th Doctor's Companion, Bill, and everything, celebrates her 37th birthday, actually 38th, I think, if I do the math right, on the 29th of this week and everything.
No, I think
And is it 37 or 38?
hang on a second.
Yeah, I just want to make sure my math is right.
She's 30 something or 21 again.
Yeah, I know, but she does not look her age, and that's what I was going to tell you guys.
She'll be 38 on the 29th. She'll be.
Yep.
38.
So, but she does not look it. Look at her in this picture. She does not look like she's in her 30s and everything. So, all power to her and the best birthday she could have this May 29th and everything. Hopefully we get to meet her again, or hopefully she gets to pop up again in the show because you never know. She is a teardrop, you know, and everything. But next, the only other couple of news we had really was more rumors, more everything about Doctor Who and everything. Guys, wait till it happens. We are getting a possible trailer for the spin-off series, but we won't know where it's really going to air yet. Some say it's after the movies, the reality war or anything, but you will see a trailer for it. They're finally going to let us in on everything and stuff, as well as something really cool that happened. I think it was at MCU Comic-Con and everything. We are getting... If this computer, it's the computer. We are getting 2 new Barbie dolls from Mattel Creations. We are getting the 15th Doctor and Ruby's Barbie dolls. And they're very pricey. They're $55 each. They're pre-ordered. They ship on August 1st.
Do they have interchangeable heads? That's all I'm concerned of.
It doesn't look like it, but you never know. The way Mattel is, you never know.
Oh, hell, we'll make it happen.
So I've seen some people do that.
Your regeneration did not work out as planned.
Nope. And speaking on the toy front and everything, like I said,
outfits.
Well, that's what I was hoping too, but I'm thinking if they can change into any Barbie, because remember, he was Ken originally, so all the Ken clothes will fit it. You know?
Was she so short?
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they were. Oh, they didn't put the heel. Oh, they put on her boots instead of. Oh, they did put boots. I thought they had sneakers on her the last time.
That's because she comes with Kung Fu grip.
You wish.
Well, speaking of other types of toys and everything, I know that the whole internet has been taken over by Dugadoo. And that's why I said thank you to KDG Angel, because she has been posting and sending me like information on things. But thanks also to Crafty Geek Girls. I don't have that picture up, but they have crocheted this little guy here. This company here has made a sculpture, but this one has crocheted. And let me tell you right now, people are getting really good with this character. I'm surprised maybe at New York Comic-Con or any of the conventions coming up, you're going to see a bunch of these guys. Tell these artists, they're damn close. They actually got really close to this, but BBC, you missed out on everything. BBC would have made a killing if they had gotten a hold of this. This is like their next thing, you know?
I don't know. After like one hearing of that song, I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to hear that song anymore.
I like it. It's fun.
It's only up there with "It's a Small World" as them being the most annoying thing on the planet.
Well, I can understand why you
thanks for
can't stand
that.
the small world. I can understand why you have a prior problem with that and everything
I
and
think
stuff.
that'd be like the next Baby Shark song.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks for that
that's
too.
I'd
Well-
rather listen to that.
But then we
phenomena.
well no.
Yeah, that everybody mentioned that the phenomena. Those guys.
And there's so many different versions of the song. There's now ringtones. He's singing the theme song. It's like Dugadoo has taken over. I think they missed the mark with this one and everything. But then our poor Ncuti has been going through the mill. They said he's not canned, but he's still working and everything. And the next movie he has coming up, while he's still doing his play and everything, is called The Roses with I gotta say his name right, Benedict Cumberbatch, Olivia Colman, Andy Samberg, Allison Janney, Belinda Brolin, and many other castmates and everything of this remake of the 1989 film, but based on the book from 1981 by Warren Adler. And it's just a satire of like what a married couple goes through and everything, and life around them with all their friends and everything. It just gets even funnier, crazier. But to laugh about the writers of this version, I have no relation yet that I know of to, but the writers of this one are Jay Roach and Tony McNamara. So yeah, I was like, okay, let me go find out if I'm related. But no, not related. But this movie is said to be very funny. Reviews have been so far of what they can see, because it doesn't air until August, but there's some reshoots being done, but they are almost finished. But what the dailies have been saying, it looks like it's going to be a hit.
And we finally get Wholock.
Yes.
We got Doctor Who.
Nobody got that. Like
Sherlock and Doctor Who.
Wholock. Okay, yeah, Wholock.
Yeah, because we've got
so
Doctor
long.
and Sherlock, and we got Prisoner Zero.
It's gonna be fun. I'm certainly looking forward to it.
But otherwise, that's the news for today on everything, and hopefully nobody's expressing doubt, because I really don't want to call anybody.
All right. Well, let's hit the button and make officially end the news.
That's Engadget right here.
Engadget.
Oh, God.
What number do you give this in a 1 to 10 TARDISes?
I have no friggin' idea, because I'm watching this. I watched it 3 times and I'm like, it just went. It went like that. It went, phew. And I'm like,
do I have to roll everybody's number except for Tom?
it just, you know what it was? It just felt like you weren't in reality, that you're in a dream that your wish a heart makes, you know?
All right, so here's what we're gonna do.
You lay off the Disney stuff. I'm not seriously, folks. Come on.
Hey, the mouse owns who?
I've got it. I've got the dice. We're just gonna roll everybody's number.
I've
Really?
got modified.
That's what we're gonna do.
minus-
Nobody's
minus
gonna
two.
know.
That's
Zion,
Guys, they're expressing doubt.
Zion
here.
was saying
Guys,
he has
they're
no idea
expressing
when
doubt.
he's gonna
We need
do
to get
it.
to the studio right away.
Bev is the only one who's got a number. So we're gonna you were gonna rate this a 9.
I'm good. The 9. Okay.
We're telling everybody this week what they're going to be rating this as.
Yep,
Okay.
and you have to justify it.
Yeah, like the little
Man.
finger things with the eyeglass things. 999 666 555.
Oh yeah, we won't have that decimal point.
Yeah. Zion is a
I had 7.77.
6.16.
Guys are
That is not
6.16.
guys.
I should write this down.
Hold on, it was private
9.
chat. You get
Zion
9.
6.16.
Yeah.
I can't even
That is
type this thing. What'd you guys do
That's
on my
pretty
keyboard?
close.
Okay. And Mark.
I think this is a
You get a modifier of -2.
Wow.
8.185. 1, 2,
Look at all the dice.
5.
Ooh.
Be the longest freaking episode ever, just rolling dice.
8.1812115. That seems like a reasonable number for Mark.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
If you're just checking in, we normally rate between 1 and 10, but now Dave is going to select everybody's rating,
except for Tom. Tom has an actual rating at 7.77.
Okay.
And we're going to let Tom go first because Tom's having some weather issues. So rather than risking losing,
We'll take
ready.
We'll take a break after Tom. Because,
we'll take a break after Tom.
Just
so Tom,
in case, because you got the weather that I was
the
having.
only legitimate number, 7.77.
Yeah, that Sahara storm I saw and I posted earlier. My God. So storm is here. So, because I thought I'd be going later. Somebody said that. Why? I have no idea. Knowing it was the Ronnie from the last episode, seeing her go back in time and do what she did, how a little child can be a wish, can be a genie per se. It was like, okay, I guess the deterioration of the mother kind of freaked me out a bit, turning the kids to ducks. But it's history, so it doesn't matter to anyone. See my last episode, Memorial Day, yesterday. She has a TARDIS. Okay, we know it's a TARDIS. Someone got you peeped. I like the new Ronnie. It's quite a very nice. I also like Belle. I think it was I can't remember who said it was. Someone said, "What was this show like?" WandaVision. I never saw WandaVision, but I got the reference. So
yeah, that's about accurate.
Yeah, the dropping of the cups. Well, hence spill the geek tea, which is hilarious per se. The concept, the Ronnie's doing the same thing. Her personality has not changed. She's the same type of person except for Mrs. Flood. Doing the thing, the time running out. The doctor saying that the child was part of the. I can't remember the words. The child was real. Makes me think, okay, is this some kind of foreshadowing of if this is the doctor's child, so hence Susan shall be the granddaughter? I don't know, but I'm just watching it, speculating. I like the Ronnie, Ronnie finally returning, saying "Time Lord" and "Time Lady." The thought of they were dancing together somewhere. Well, the place burned, and people thought they were lovers. Like, okay, now it's not quite what the sixth doctor said because she should have been locked up in a padded room. So it makes me think, what doctor was that? Would we have a War Doctor story with the Ronnie? That would be quite interesting. Hint, Big Finish, because that's the only one I can think of that would fit in that perspective. Supposedly there was a waiting song when Belinda picked up the phone. She's on wait to some kind of song. I have no idea what it was. So I wanted to ask anyone in the chat or anyone else to understand. What is that?
It was Duggadoo.
It was, oh, Jesus. I watched it on Daily Motion because I had problems with the other system.
Nah.
Imagine that. Something wrong with that system. I just watched the thing. I can't remember. The idea, I like the idea. Rogue was popped in there and like, Dr. I, okay. Throw in a past reference there. And like, just in reverse. Table's not what they seem. Those creatures with the long fingernails, not mine, but their attachments to the tables, kind of remind me, most certainly, the images of Omega for the Three Doctors and Arc of Infinity, when he had those beams coming out of his fingers attached to the Doctor's heads. So that was kind of a foreshadowing per se, if you recognize that. The idea of, I think it was Ramona mentioned it, was on our chat, and one of the guests on Spill the QT. How, I can't remember what she said, but if this is the Wish world, then why is Omega popping in through the Wish world? Why isn't she going through the main real universe? And is this Doctor? I don't know. See, that confused me. Her remarks confused me. I gave it a 7 because it was I liked it. It was entertaining. Still to the point of no doubt. Don't speak. Caught up in the spiderweb. Secret squirrel. So it was interesting. The foreshadowing with the baby again. It's like, why is season 1, but returning into the other story and returning again? It's okay. We finally see Belinda's mom, per se, grandmother too. Return to Mel. So it's interesting. It's a little situation going on here. I really want to see what part 2 is going to be like, and help me understand what this whole thing's about. What do you have to say about that, Sam? Nothing. So that's about it. Time for a commercial.
All right then. Well, that seems like
Fine,
a reasonable,
great.
reasonable thing to do. Kristen, go ahead and bring us a commercial, I guess, because that was a short segue for Tom.
Yep, we're going to go into commercial break. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and we're going to introduce you to our new sponsor in just a moment. So stand by, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back. We are going to be talking more about Doctor Who Wish World as the panels continue to do their reviews, and we'll be going over your comments as well when we return.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Okay, I'm going to take this banner down for just a second because we got one more commercial. In fact, we actually are going to be saying goodbye to the Kitchen Killers commercial because they've got a new one. And not only that, but they've got something special for us. And I think it's about time because I think not only was that commercial outdated, but we are happy to introduce... Oh, I don't actually have a picture of it. So I'll have to run the commercial. The Kitchen Killers now have a barbecue sauce, and I think it's safe to say that I think we are the first Doctor Who podcast that has our own barbecue sauce. Without further ado, we want to welcome our folks from the Kitchen Killers. And let me go ahead and take that spoiler banner down. Hang on a second.
Spoilers.
No spoilers for this one. Let's go ahead and bring in our new sponsors, the Kitchen Killers barbecue sauce.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused. I'm so enclosed. The spell stays unspoken. A dark silhouette of a marked man, and I'm broken. Right down. I didn't listen to that voicemail. A TikTok, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
That's right, gang. Just email if you're interested in getting yourself a bottle of this great stuff. It is $14 a piece, and you can purchase them at Kitchen Killers. Just email Billy himself at kitchenkillers@gmail.com. And if you use promo code TARDIS, you get 10% off one of these bottles right here. Or any of your purchases, you get 10% off. So give you an idea of what these are. What's that?
Do they do international?
I think they do, but I would just send him a message if that's the case. But I think he might. So just to give you an idea of what this little ditty is, and we actually had these on Memorial Day weekend. I don't have the pictures with me. That's a shame. But just to give you an idea, those are our new sponsors. If you're somebody who loves barbecue sauce and you just want the right amount of sweet and sour, this is a tasty barbecue sauce. That's the Kitchen Killers out there. Also proceeds for portions of these bottles will go to the Voodoo Chef Foundation. And I just want to make sure I read this properly. Hang on one second. It is a sponsorship from the Voodoo Chef. Was created to promote education, nurture talent, and impact the food service and hospitality industry. Ultimately, our goal is to help students develop their own unique path in the food service and food industry and to achieve success where the industry takes them. Through culinary and educational programs, we provide much needed support to our community here in the greater Tampa area. So definitely you're not only going to get some great barbecue sauce that you can have for the summer, but you're also helping a charity for folks who want to get their kids going in there to culinary schools or food prep and help them out. So there you go. Welcome aboard Kitchen Killers barbecue sauce. And that's it for me.
Woo! And we're back.
Is that sweet and smoky, or was that?
Yes, it is sweet and smoky.
No.
What is it for smoky? Does it have like
There we go.
Let's see. Like, what are some of the ingredients in there?
Oh, you're gonna make me read, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Reading is hard.
Hey, I'm the one with the allergies. I want to know because I want to try it, but I don't want to break out.
Exactly.
Let me do it later because I don't have
Yeah.
efficient lighting in here, but let me do that later for you. So I'll go over the rest of the ingredients.
And most
Yes,
of
not
our
the whole recipe
fans
for
might,
people to be getting
yeah,
it.
just something
Yeah.
in case there's any coconuts or anything like some fans can't have and everything, you know.
So now that we've got Mark out of the way,
What?
not Mark, not Mark, Tom out of the way.
Wrong co-host here.
Other Mark?
It's been a day,
It'll be
folks.
one of those shows.
Yeah,
It
it's been
is.
one of those shows,
We're,
exactly.
we're like,
I was looking at Mark's number is just so long that as
That's what he
it
said.
should be.
But is he next?
No, he's not next. Zion is actually next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back in the regular, and we assigned to Zion that Zion rolled a 1.16.
Oh God!
1.16. Wow,
It's not that low, but
not that low. 6.16 is what we
6.16.
rolled.
6.
You get to go first. What did you think of Wish World, Zion?
Okay. I want to say halfway through it, it was primed up to being my favorite episode of the season. Time Lords are scary. Time Lords are very scary. If the universe eventually decided to turn on the last of the Time Lords and just wipe them out of existence, I wouldn't be surprised. This story felt very big finishy. At least what I mean by that is that you have these stories where like you get the returning villains in a big finish, and the whole first part is what the heck is going on? What the heck is just going on? And like you're just thrown into the middle of this storyline until the last 5 minutes hit. And like for example, the Magic Mousetrap, you have no idea what's going on, and then there's the toy maker into the cabinet, and then you're like, oh. So like this is kind of like how this episode felt to me. Like it's just filler to get to that end. The only difference between this and Big Finish is that when the Magic Mousetrap hits, you are there saying, "Oh my God, I have like 3 hours left of this story. This is going to be awesome." But with this, we have 1 episode left, and I said this last show that he's putting in too much at the end for a cohesive storyline. Like I wish I could grade this episode just by itself, but like it's obviously so tied into the next episode that it's almost impossible to just generate them. So like they're just there. Overall, I thought that it felt like WandaVision. Like, okay, we are in this alternate timeline where we went back to like a neo mid 20th century, and we still have the morals and ideals of the 60s and mid 20th century, but everything's off with doubt. And when it came down to doubt, I thought about like something like Paradox Faction, where like they're always doing stuff where like we're not dealing with lasers or even stellar manipulators. We're dealing with like concepts like fear and everything that gets put into this one monster that could end the whole thing, and it's just a concept. And so like when I see doubt and how it all came down together into this doubt bomb, and that on top with the skull stuff, like Paradox Faction is very bonesy. And so like when I saw the bones and on the level of scale that we're reaching, like now we're trying to punch through reality and get to the antimatter dimension. And I'm like, okay, this is very big. But again, we only have 1 episode left. Like if this all was like the previous last episode, and we had the 2 episodes to just flesh this out, this would have been awesome. Because like again, we've had 2 seasons now, and what has been the one thing every season that's been in the last episode or somewhere in there? Mrs. Flood, right? And then we get to this episode, or rather last episode, and she bi-generates into 2 Ronnies. Okay, so then now we've pretty much took out our main villain for the entire 2 seasons and shoved it to the side for something new. And then we come into this episode, we're dealing with this Ronnie. We get nice dialogue with the Siege of Persephone and such. Very nice. If you know the lore, it adds to it, especially with Conrad's story time. It is good, but it's too much, because like again, we get to the Ronnie stuff and then boom, Omega. And so again, now since we know about this show and the history, this is like George Washington. This is big. We don't see this guy often at all. Like as far as I've seen like 3 stories. You have the 3 Doctors, Arc of Infinity, and and Omega, the Big Finish story. So he does not come up at all. And one thing that they always say, and I've always wondered this from the main series, when Omega comes through, what's he gonna do? What is he actually gonna do? Like is he gonna like tear down the whole universe? Is he going to go after the Doctor now because he's going to find out about the Time War? Is he going to do anything at all? Because every single time that he's about to get through the antimatter universe, they stop him. So like it's like seeing like it's like this Thanos event. Like when he comes through, it's just all done. And I just want to see it because like again, we're in one last episode. How are you going? I feel like essentially Mrs. Flood has been shoved to the side for the Ronnie and Omega. So like if we've been here wondering what is going on with Miss Flood, and then she's just here playing her part in like 5 seconds, we don't even really get to feel the character or have her do anything because she's been shoved to the side and give Conrad food rather than the new Ronnie doing everything herself. So like it's just like a waste of Miss Flood to me. And so like just to wrap it up, we have like I heard that the next episode is like 20 minutes longer, but like if we have the Ronnie and Omega and the 2-season villain Miss Flood on top of the whole Earth being shoved into this other dimension because of some paradox faction level machine, I don't know how we can get a cohesive ending here. It has all of the ingredients of the last season. Like okay, we have Sutek every single time that he comes up, we get by the skin of our teeth. By cheese, we're cheesing this guy, we're barely beating him, and then now we come in, and then second last episode is Sutek, and then last episode, okay, we gotta beat Sutek because he just wiped off the entire universe. Dog leash him, hand wave, goodbye. And so like I'm scared, and this has all the ingredients of this finale end up being the same way as last season, where like we had this not even this global event, this dimensional event where we're punching through the whole of reality to get to the antimatter universe, not to just another universe, the antimatter universe. So like the episode on its own as a build-up is good. It's just that it's tied to the ending. Is that what you can see the train being derailed right before your eyes because they just keep adding more things and more things and more things. So you're saying, okay, so they're gonna wipe away this in like 5 minutes. We're gonna have some emotional stuff here. Well, let's wipe Omega here, and then whatever. And yeah, it's essentially it's good, but it's bad because we don't have enough time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Time is definitely a premium right now, and that's I can definitely see that potential train wreck of, well, they didn't really stick the landing again. I can see that.
Yeah, like
We'll see.
I just wish that like it was like a more of a tandem where like both Ronnies are working together using both of their brains to beat the Doctor, like how the Doctor gets together and puts his mind together to beat Omega. But rather it's just no, I'm here and you're below me, and the one that below is the one that we've known the entire season. So it just feels like a throwaway.
Right. Okay. Man, that's fair. Let's see who is next here. Mark at 8.181215.
Is there any modifiers on that number?
No.
Okay.
Straight roll.
Damn, man. Okay. So,
I mean, I could give you a bonus and add another D20 on there or something.
No, I think Christian will kill us. We start rolling the numbers away. Right.
Too late.
Yeah, too late. First bugbear of this episode is last time we saw Ncuti and Belinda, they was getting blown up. now for sitting in bed. How? Okay, that's the elephant out of the room. I actually quite enjoyed this episode. I've watched it about 3 times, see if I can spot certain things in it. I still think it's suffering. It's under. I can understand it's supposed to be set in the like turn up. The attitudes are supposed to be set in now, but with the how do I say, with the ethics of the 1950s, 1960s. Okay. I thought it was quite funny. There's one picture where Belinda runs out the house, and you see one side of the fence absolutely painted perfectly white. On the opposite side, it wasn't painted. So it feels like it feels like the set jobs. I was comparing it between like watching Aliens in London. Okay. Like when they were in Rose's house, and compared to this one, you can see day and night difference of how much care took into the set design of those, or not set, but made it feel more realistic. I even know this house is supposed to be in the Wish world. It just looks too clinical. The house, everything looks prim and proper. Everything looks in place. Nothing out of ordinary. Everything's got to be spot on. Compared to when you watch like I said with Rose's flat in South London, well, South East London, where it's supposed to be set, you got trash bins, you got 2 toilet rolls lying around, you got jackets over for things. It felt like a normal UK film. This just looks too cozy, but I do understand this is a wish world and not reality.
Sounds like you're expressing doubt.
I am.
Uh-oh.
I know. Smash.
Guys, I better make a call.
I have the phone.
Are you phoning the Unified National Insurance Team by any chance?
Dave, I think you should re-roll for Mark.
You should re-roll for Mark.
Yeah.
All right.
You rolled so you can get the roll of re-rolling.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Let me grab my dice back here.
I think carry on while he's re-rolling.
I even found the picture in my picture roll of what he's talking about with the fence.
Yeah, no, literally one side of the fence is painted,
and one's not.
The other side is completely left bare.
169.
What?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with yeah. Shall we just call it 42? Is that our answer to Life Universe?
The rating went down.
The rating went down. Yeah, we'll add a little bit more to it here. Hold on. 4 plus another 4.
I give up for crying out
loud. You're making my review easy because I was going to point out other things.
Roll my number.
And I made mine so easy.
Is that
mine is going to be totally off. Whatever.
Is that a moose head in that one?
309.
What was it?
You thought that was a moose head?
No, that is a kraken.
Oh, is that the reality monster?
Yes, that's the reality monster.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Couple of things I think which is quite interesting is the Poppy.
God,
who is Poppy? What is she? Is she the timeless child? That's my theory. It makes sense that after this reality thing, she gets put back to the thing. We see her here. We saw her in Interstellar, I think, as Poppy Honey, and then in the story engine, she was the little girl there. I haven't checked all the other ones to see whether or not it's like the bad wolf syndrome, where it went through every episode and we just missed much. But in the last 3 episodes, Poppy is mentioned or seen. So that could be either the Doctor as the timeless child, but this is just my own theory. Is no confirm. It's just my hunch, and I'm always wrong. So don't hold it to me. One thing I did notice when Conrad picked up the baby, did any of you guys hear the giggle?
Yes.
And did you see the giggle in Interstellar Contest on the wave on the sign?
Yeah. So then we got that. We got this story of the giggle still not been answered properly. We've got the two Ranis fighting it out.
I wouldn't mind babysitting on that set.
There you go.
I would not mind babysitting on that set to see those two cutenesses, Poppy and that little baby.
Catch it. Did you get your fork candles?
Huh?
Did you get your fork candles?
I still am trying to find this on YouTube to figure this out.
He gave you the link in the
I
comments.
gave you the link.
It didn't go through.
Yeah.
Huh? Where?
Right, it was all about the four candles.
Been too long for that one.
Yeah, I know. The other one, we've got the Ranis, which I think the by generation is wearing a little bit thin. Okay. That would be a good by generation with a two Ranis by generation.
Children in need. Children in need. Hello.
Well, they're not around here anymore. They would have to generate feedback on.
Exactly.
With AI?
Yeah. I think I disagree. I think the two Ranis, even though one's trying to be a little bit more submissive than the A Rani compared to the Rani, I think that their dynamic works quite well, especially when the Rani's quite mischievous as a character. Okay. And I like Mrs. Flood's portrayal that she's trying to pretend to be the passive one, but I think she's going to be more in charge. While the actual Archie, I can't remember her surname.
Beware the quiet ones, you're trying to say?
Yeah. Okay. I think she makes a really good Kate. Is it Katie? Who did the original Rani?
Kate O'Mara. Kate O'Mara.
Kate O'Mara. I think they act very, very similar. I think they've done really well compared to how it was with this new Rani. And I think Mrs. Flood is just going to be there just to poke that little pin in the other Rani side if she gets out of control or just steps out of line too much, then she'll take over. And I like that dynamic of being passive aggressive and stuff like that. The sandwich was hilarious. Okay, the other elephant room unit. What the heck did they do to it? They made it into an insurance broker. Why? So
why not?
Why not?
Because it's unit. You don't mess with unit. Sorry.
That's why she did it.
Exactly.
She humbled them.
She didn't humble them. She turned into douchebags and become insurance.
I was going to say what Rick's going to say.
Sorry. Anyone who listens to this and works in insurance, you're not a douchebag. It's just me just making fun of you.
Scumbags.
If anybody needs his email address, let me know.
I'm going to be dropped out after this show. I think the ending with reality going out, I think the idea of Ruby sort of remembering what's happened and not sort of what happening, and then you got the disability seen but not seen. That was a quite deep question. Do we pretend that because of disabilities, do we pretend that they don't exist when you speak to people?
Talk to New York State government.
So I think that was done quite well. I loved the signing they did. I think all the good stuff talking about that. I think that was quite done subtly, and it was in your face, but it wasn't in your face. You know what I mean? It was just a side note, but you got that side of the storyline, and like what Simon said, you got about 5 different storylines in this one episode, and we don't know where it's going. And I just checked your times, and you're absolutely right, Simon. This episode ran for 44 minutes, while the next week's episode is for 1 hour and 6 minutes. So it's almost a 20
theatrical release time.
Yeah, actual release time. You can check. If you in doubt, you can always check on BBC Scheduler, and they'll tell you exactly how long the episode is. So you got 1.5. We got 1 hour and 6 minutes to answer all those stories, or they're going to follow into the next season. I got a funny feeling they're going to do the same thing what happened last season, where they just rushed the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to just knock it down again. But on the whole, I think the special effects were amazing in this episode. I think reality doing it. I like the monsters when they put the foot down. It like blended with everything where they're saying it's real and not real. You can see them up above, but when they put the foot down as a walk-in, they're like that. I tell you what I did love, the Silver Rassilon.
Yes.
Well, you got the picture on there. That was a beautiful throwback on it. I did watch the Doctor Who confidential to this episode. And one thing I'm a bit concerned about is that Russell T Davies called Classic Legacy now. It's called Doctor Who Legacy. It was like, is it Legacy or is it still Classic?
It's still Classic. It won't catch on.
Yeah. But yeah, on the whole, I give it that 8 point whatever number that they roll for me with a caveat of a modifier of minus 1.5.
Do you guys remember when they were trying? It was for a short time. I think it was like the second year of Doctor Who. They tried to change out the word Whovians for something else. It lived like 5 minutes. I don't. You know what I'm talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It lived for like 5 minutes, and even the Whovians were like, "Yeah, don't touch it. Just leave it alone."
The legacy thing is a Disney thing, saying, "Oh, Star Wars, it's no longer it's." Star Wars Legends, so everything you knew of Shadows of the Empire, which fit perfectly between Empire and Jedi. No, that doesn't exist anymore. We can do it our way.
Is that what that was, Fowler? Hooters?
Yep.
Hooters?
Hoovers?
Yeah. Hooters?
Who was it?
I think they were going to get sued. I think it was.
Hooters.
Yeah, that will be really dodgy. I'm a Hooter fan.
I'm not wearing skin tight outfit and carrying wings.
Oh, please, Christian, please. That just
my shirt over there.
Right. Can we compromise, Christian? Can we compromise?
Yes,
and just
kill a barbecue sauce.
Just bring the wings. I was gonna say, just bring the wings. You don't have to wear the outfit, but if you just bring the wings, we'll compromise.
Works for me.
Oh, you guys took half of my reviews out, but I was gonna bring up something else with mine.
Well, conveniently, you're next, and you rolled a straight 9. So
that's convenient, isn't it? Well, let's see. This was up my alley when it first started because a 7 child of a 7 child of a 7 child, and everything is folklore for all Wiccans out there because magic is in the air and everything. And also, thank you, Doctor, for throwing that salt to create the magic that creates the baby, that creates the wish world, that creates all this and everything because you created the god of wishes. And that is a very dangerous thing to create when you have a 7 child of a 7 child of a 7 child and everything. They came to be vampire hunters or destroyers of the world and everything. So that's old folklore and everything. So Ronnie knew what she was doing, but this one coming in cute as hell, meowing, going meow, meow, and everything. I was falling over laughing because I was sitting there going like, that is the most adorable thing, especially when he says, do you want a cat? And she goes, yes, and everything. I was like, okay, I want to babysit on this set and everything. And when they go right to the theme, you're like, okay, whatever. And then you start hearing the story of Doctor Who, which looks like Amy Pond's book, which looks like Harry Potter's book, which looks like another storybook and everything. But they called it The Deadly Wish and everything. And all you're hearing is the story. And then everybody just slipping, cups breaking, spilling the tea, all this other stuff and everything. And you notice it's caution color yellow glasses. So that means is it caution not to slip and everything? Even the bins were saying slip and everything. So what could slip up? What could slip? What could cause a crack in the system? What could, what was reality? What is not reality and everything? Why we have doubts and everything and stuff, like we had to call because someone's expressing doubt, especially Ruby when she shows up, which triggers the doubt in the doctor and everything. Because if Belinda got so insulted, that's not you. I don't have a child. What do you mean? Like they got insulted and everything and stuff. And then Mel shows up and it just kept going on and on. It's almost like the world was blind to things and everything. It was just, and then you realize it's because the doesn't have all the narrative to it. It doesn't tell the full end of it. It doesn't show the other side of the story. That's why you have the people that are missed or not observed or anything, because they're not considered part of the story, like the people who are disabled and everything. And that was at a time when disabled was not part of the story. They were put in institutions, they were left on a side, they were whatever and everything. The mentality of, even when Belinda's auntie or grandmother was saying that our job is to be good mothers, good things, that was the mentality of that time. And in Conrad's mind, is that what he was hoping for because of the abuse he had at home and everything? And that's why he wished this world into existence. But then the Ronnie played on it because the doubt is what's going to crack the world open. Because if you get a doctor's doubt or a Time Lord's doubt, you will smash worlds and everything and stuff. And how do you get the one that's lost? Let's crack the earth. Let's crack it like an egg and everything, and use the doubt from the doctor, because that doctor has been carrying doubt for so many years, because he doubted leaving Susan. He doubted his regenerations. He doubted that he loved Rose. He doubted that he's all doubt. But the biggest surprise was when he could deal with the master. He could deal with Missy, but now he has to deal with two Ronnies. And the face on him was like, please, God, no. Please do not let me deal with these two and everything. No more. No, I can handle this, but the Ronnie, that's why he broke down. He just broke down. And then on cue, like she said, the world just cracked open and took him outside. Doctor, look, we're going to find the one that's lost and everything. And I'm like, okay, but who's lost? Is it Susan? Is it? And then when she said Omega, I was like, is that the guy that went, had no body and everything? Because I only remembered a little bit of the story on Omega and everything. And I was like, okay, what's going on here and everything? That you need a god of wishes to create a world, to break into a world. But is the earth still standing? And is this a dream world? Because Belinda automatically disappears like she's on screen when they throw her against the threshold and everything. When they said, get rid of the wife and everything. But she's still in her mind is going, I got to save my daughter. I got to save my daughter, because she thinks Poppy is her daughter and everything. But the idea of using flashlights to make bombs across the top and everything, because I was just laughing at that one and everything, he's falling, says, but Poppy is real and everything. Did he take Poppy with him and she's been on the ship all this time? Or is she been, okay, I'm going to do my mission and then come back to the doctor because she wanted him to be her dad? That's her wish. Or was it his wish to have her as his daughter? We don't know, because what threw me was when Belinda disappeared. So I'm saying, are we in the doctor's wish? Or are we in the Ronnie's wish? Are we in, whose wish are we in? Is it Conrad's wish? Or is it a combo wish? Because that kid is creepy as hell. That little one. It's like a mini version of Conrad and everything. But it could go either way. It could go, you can have the creator of worlds, the destroyer of worlds, or destroyer in just everything, But all I kept seeing was the fact that it was like, whose wish was this really? But to see also the people who were also dismissed by this wish traipse back to what's going on now too. A lot of people who have invisible illnesses and everything get dismissed because if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. You could say it's there, but if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. Same in Wish World. Unless you see it, doesn't exist. You just slip up a little bit now and then. But I love that Poppy is real. That was the doctor, not in his John Smith. That was the doctor saying Poppy is real.
Yep, no, it's gonna be an interesting sequel, ending part 2, whatever you want to call it.
Especially with the reality war. Now reality has set in.
Exactly. Or has been destroyed So we'll have to see how that goes. As for me, I rolled an 8 point, a lot of dice. So there's
you did the pure infinity.
8 point.
All right, we're not going to do this again ever.
We weren't going to do it this time.
It's just you couldn't rate this episode because it's like an anime. It's a filler episode. It's the one you fast forward through.
We all had
I
doubts.
would not call this a filler episode at all. This is just the first half.
To me, it was a filler. It was like, okay, we knew this was going to happen. It was like, eh.
I'd rather do the dice roll than the wheel, which we used to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that wheel.
Christian, you remember that wheel?
It killed my computer, but I could always bring it back.
No, you could go buy one on Amazon and just have Dave pull. Just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just was too funny. Like I said, like, and this episode too was funny. It was mirroring other episodes of Doctor Who of the season, by the way, because Poppy comes in like the cat. Cat, like, where would you find a cat? Unless backstage, while they were trying to keep her busy, she was playing with a cat.
There's a cat.
Oh, here's a question: how many ducks were there? Were there 5 or 7 ducks?
6.
You actually counted?
Yes.
I count. There's 6 ducks and 1 owl because I have the pictures.
Yeah, the
one of the kids,
seventh child was.
We saw one of the kids go off screen.
Yeah, I'm sure there was only 5 ducks.
Maybe we saw 2 kids go off screen.
I'm gonna laugh if none of this makes any sense and doesn't even involve.
The mother was turned to leaves. The kids were turned to ducks, and the dad was turned to an owl.
Violets. The mother was Violet, Violetta, and everything. The seventh son of the seventh son was the owl, and all the ducklings were the 6 kids, the boys, because the 7th is the evil child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave, I put up a question over there if you want to hit that from Rose Kirby. Is it just me? Doesn't the house look early? 1950s. It said 2025. Was it showing one reality of the 1950s, but reality is 2025?
Yeah, reality is 2025, and it just had all those affectations of the 1950s.
Conrad's story.
Without getting too political, Conrad especially wants very much to drag a society back to a 1950s.
The good old days
thing. That really got brought home when you had
good days.
Moms. when you had Belinda's mom and grandmother there, and they're like, "Well, you start as a nice girl, and then you're a nice woman. And
how many hours of labor and all this?
Nice mother. That's what we're here for."
But is that more of a cultural reference rather than a time reference?
Time and culture.
A little of both, but it's again, without getting too political on that, it's
same
also
like the special needs people. The same thing. I just sat there and I go like, wow, they're going there. They're really going there.
Right on the nose on those without really being bad about it, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is quite interesting. I'm not sure you guys know about the word Rani means queen or princess.
Queen.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And Chandra means the goddess of the moon or god of the moon.
Yeah. So there's some of that may or may not have meaning.
I'm gonna add to that because I saw this on the internet the other day. In Lancastershire, I'm sorry, I'm American, and particularly in Blackburn, there was in the 18th century and 19th centuries a tradition of calling 7 sons of 7 sons a doctor because of their supposed abilities as healers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Savers of the world.
Yeah.
Gadget, we got a message for you from Patches. A cat. Gadget Amara created a body of the Doctor to survive in, but the Doctor chased him down and used that ray gun and vaporized them. Who bet who knows?
Because I thought he forgot who he was. He had no body because of the radiation, and then he took somebody's face in one of the episode.
Omega was he just became antimatter in the 3 Doctors,
right?
And then he wore a suit, antimatter suit, even more gruesomely grotesque. So
didn't
he passed through the essence of the Doctor.
Face?
Yeah, he went through the 5th Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Took a bit of his essence. That's why he was able, through Time Lord biology, he was able to copy himself as the 5th Doctor, but it wasn't strong enough, so he began to deteriorate.
So is that what the Ronnie wants to do then?
No, she wants to bring it back.
Right. So
yes.
But that could be the reason why, because if you think about it, Omega was a star what's it called? Forgot the title of his job role.
Antimatter, but
no,
black hole.
it was Star. It was like Star Maker. So he was the one who actually introduced the
Time travel
to time.
Or
Stellar
manipulator.
Stellar manipulator. That's it. Thank you, Simon. I just could not think of a word. I know he's got the sun on it. And the last time we actually saw a star manipulator to use was in Remembrance of the Daleks, as the hand of Ogama.
Well, it also got me was that he kept saying that he was upset more that they didn't tell him he was gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether or not that he's going to bring back Gallifrey. That's another possibility. If he's someone who can do stellar manipulation, and the last star we saw took out Skaro back in the Seventh Doctor, who sent it back to the Daleks' homeworld to blow it up. Does that mean that he can also create a new star for Gallifrey? And is this Varani's plan of rebuilding Gallifrey again?
So is that why that company from the well was seeing the building crashing down in front of Ruby? Because they can use that radiation.
I think it was just an Easter egg.
Okay. Because I know that the technology they have can manipulate things too and stuff.
Well, they just dig. But yeah, I really, like I said, me rolling an 8-point lot of dice is actually pretty accurate. That's a pretty accurate roll for me as well.
You gave it 8 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Isn't 8 the Omega symbol if you put it the other way?
Oh, that's
infinity symbol.
Okay.
But I would give it an 8 point something or other. Like Zion said, it's really hard to try and rate this on its own, more so than a lot of two-parters, because a lot of two-parters are just, here's a 2-part box. But this one really does link together the last 2 seasons, or tries to, or sets up the link to these last 2 seasons. And, there's a lot of fear as will they be able to make it? Will they stick the landing this year? I fear maybe not, but we'll see. I really did enjoy it though. I for what it was. If I take out the rest of the last 2 seasons and just take it as this if this came on TV randomly and I just happened to pull it into the middle of this episode, it's self-contained enough. It's weird enough, but it is a self-contained weird. Right? You don't necessarily have to know all of what's happened over the last 2 seasons to realize that something's not right here. And the Ronnies do fairly well at explaining what's going on. So it does work out well. And it was visually an incredible episode. That Bone Palace is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to call it a mythosaur. I'm sure there's a real name for those the walking dinosaur things, but the way the tusks come reminds me of the mythosaur out of Star Wars. But again, we saw it land. We saw it's like we can see why it doesn't destroy things, because we get that little cut shot of it going and not really being there, but still being there. It hit all of the political notes without being too political and in your face about it, arguably. All around, like I said, I really enjoyed every point that it hit. I really did enjoy. Whether it will wrap up properly, I don't know. Should this have been a 3-part episode? Could this have been a 3-part episode? Certainly. Like it will, but we'll see. I mean, next week we're getting effectively an episode and a half. So we're almost getting a 3-part episode out of this. And that's what's really going to determine how successful it is. So it is a little bit challenging, as pointed out, to rate this on its own. But it was, I loved the Seventh Son bit. I loved that, you know, you can see the Doctor's cogs turning as the doubt winds up, and then you go up to the Ronnies and they're like, oh no, his doubt is powerful, which is important. Like the doubt of the Doctor is every bit as powerful as the certainty of the Doctor, if harnessed appropriately. And that speaks volumes about the Doctor in general, that even when you've got an entire world of thoughts, his soul is even more powerful than everybody else's combined. The giggle in the baby god of wishes was not unexpected, but adorable. I still don't like Conrad, just as a general rule, but I did love what
you
they
noticed
did.
that he got very childlike around the Ronnies, depending on which one it was.
Oh yeah, he's but he is. I liked what they did with him. It is his wish. You can tell that it's his wish once you start realizing that, and everything there. I loved the aesthetic that they used with that 1950s classic looks. Think the little cameos with like Mel and stuff were really nice. Like, nope, can't do that. It is interesting that in the preview images of this, that suit that the Doctor's wearing there is more of a peacock blue, which is what he traditionally has worn when he's worn a suit, as opposed to that much darker blue that it seems to have been throughout most of the episode. And I can't tell if that was just a difference in lighting or if that was an intentional thing. It's a little bit hard to tell there. I did like the return of Susan Twist for no reason other than it was a cute character.
What about Rogue?
And Rogue is great because if you troll the internet enough, they actually released a video of the first read through. This is the first opportunity that the cast gets the script. And RTD is there and he reads all of the stage directions. And in that he says, and the stranger appears on the screen. The name Rogue was not in the script. The name Rogue was left out of the script. The casting of the character of the stranger was not known. And so there's a great video of them going, and the stranger appears on the TV, and it's Jonathan Groff. And the cast loses their ever-loving minds. And then you get a little bit of a intersect with a shooty story where Jonathan Groff said, yeah, they had me film this thing about tables at during Rogue. Like, he filmed that little sequence when he was on set for Rogue with zero context. He had no idea what he was recording. The cast,
That's awesome.
It was so ridiculously well done, and they pulled the wool out over everybody's eyes behind the scenes.
And didn't he say Belinda's been asleep all this time?
Yeah, and it's been a ton of fun, and it is interesting that they pointed out that he's in the hell dimension and that it is slipping down as we see this wish world collapsing down. So it's possible that hell dimension is part of this antimatter dimension. So that might be a way that we get Rogue back. We'll find out.
Okay.
In less than a week. But altogether, like there was just all of the little pieces worked really, really well. Does it work well as a whole? We'll have that conversation after next week.
What about the certificate? Does this answer the certificate as well?
Which certificate?
How did you get the certificate for the first episode? Remember, he still has that certificate.
That
to
I
figure
don't
out
know.
how that from Robot Wars.
Oh yeah, from Robot Wars. Yeah.
How do you get the same in two-dimensional spaces?
Yeah.
So
there's
that's
a
another.
lot-
That's another. There's a lot than this last episode's
Exactly.
going to be. Yeah.
But that may just carry through to season 3 because we'll have season 3. It's just a matter of whether it's on Disney Plus. Well, the show is by far BBC's most profitable project. Like that's public record. That's not an if and or but. This is the numbers they released to Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
It is their most profitable project. It's going nowhere.
Yeah.
At whether it's on Disney Plus or not is almost
Mickey
irrelevant.
Mouse.
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
a matter of where it'll air.
Here's the question: if a master's got a disco ball with a Cyberman, Varani's got a disco ball now. Are we going to see the Doctor Who dancing with
He
Daleks?
has one. It's somewhere near the pool.
Has the Doctor got a Dalek with the Daleks doing a dance with a disco ball? Because that's going to be just like really.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We will hopefully get that video in the War for the Land and Sea at the very end.
Oh, that would be And who knows? Maybe Missy or the Master will show up.
The Sea Devils will be backstroking in the TARDIS pool, and you know the Daleks will have been set up as a DJ stand. It's like,
probably.
You're giving AIers a thing, aren't you? Like the way we just gave Etsy all those Dunga.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my thoughts on it. I want to take a quick second here just to toss out, because we did the commercial break already, but I'm going to throw an extra commercial. These dice that I used are glow-in-the-dark dice from Kraken Dice. So I just want to thank them for sending that to me, because I hadn't had it. I want to give them credit where it's due.
They're cool.
It's a 14-piece set with an oversized D20, regular size D20s, mini D20s. It's very similar to the blind sets that we opened on here in the past, but this is not a blind set. So you got everything from a D2 up to the D20, and they are gorgeous. I've not charged them up. I can't go turn off
You got
the
a
light.
black light?
They're glow in the dark. They're not.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if they're black light reflective or not. They look like they should be. At least the pink should be. So, but it's just one of their regular sets. So I just wanted to take a second and thank them for sending that to me, because that's an important. Oh, hello, Chris. I that was not what I was expecting when I took that away.
Can you bring up Rosie's thing about the cinema message? Anyone?
Let me try. Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go through we'll bring that comment up.
You mean this?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
She is right that cinema's start time is at 1800 for Wish World. However, certain cinemas are opening the doors probably 20 minutes early. Some are doing it dead on 6. Some of them are doing it at about 5:30 or 5:40. What I would suggest, if you book your tickets, check what time the doors are opening at the cinema. I know different cinemas of the same company around the country have different times. Just if you book your tickets, just check what time the doors are actually opening.
And it'll be the theoretically it is Wish World that we saw, and then follow up with the Reality War at 1850 as.
So it will be about 2 p.m. here then, give or take, or
I think it's 1 p.m. But we'll do that math offline.
Okay.
We'll figure that out. Kristen will figure that out. What were some of the ratings we got through the audience?
Absolutely. Let's jump back over there. First of all, let me go ahead and take this comment down.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rose. Let me throw a few comments out there before I get out
please.
there. Raj AB says wasn't there a character in Sarah Jane Adventures named Ronnie Chandra?
Yeah.
She was one of the neighbor kids or something.
It was an homage to the,
And she got married to Dasha, or what was it, Sasha Darwan, who played the master. Didn't she also play the spider as well?
Yeah.
In the Edison one.
Yes. What's funny is there is a line through 7, so they're saying people can't determine 1 through 7. Don't know what that means, Patches. Sorry.
I don't think we have D7, do we?
I will read. I will read the comment. I will only display a portion of it, but Gallifrey's nuts. Well, that episode was unfortunate. Odur. My grandfather was a competitive type. He once smashed me in the with a cricket bat, and I have a happier memory than Wishlet World. So I'm going to say he rated as a 1. So now, moving on, we got Sega Ages, the most divided episode I've seen in a long time in the Who Nerd Discord. I'm giving the episode a 7 out of 10. Wow,
that's fair.
Sega. Time scales. Hey man. Wish World is a 7.8 out of 10 on the timescales out of 29 ratings and reviews. Raj gives a 10 out of 10. Wish World to see what the Ronnies are up to with Conrad and Hootuber. Fairies.
Oh yeah,
Fairies.
I sent you guys that one.
Yeah,
Having one small scene with Millie Gibson and Ruth Medali. Hey, RTD, if you ever want to put a podcast on there, no. Oh my God is back. Grant G, I hope that leak image of Omega isn't real. There's leaked image.
Oh,
There's a ton of leaked images. So
There's a lot of AI too, so be careful.
Yeah.
Nico Bat says I give it an 8. It was WandaVision vibes. The sets are amazing. Mrs. Blood Ronnie is wonderfully passive aggressive. I can't wait to see what she's up to. What is up with Poppy? And Rose continues, hey, did any of you think when you watched that you was watching an episode of The Flash?
Welcome to AI on our computers.
The reality changed by someone opening a book and changing it was Cold Armageddon. And Grant has a question. Why does the Ronnie care about Gallifrey?
Because Ronnie's from Gallifrey.
She's a scientist. She can manipulate. If she brings them back, she can turn them into frogs or something.
Isn't she like Tech 2 then?
I could have sworn the Ronnie was like anti-Gallifreyan from Marco the Ronnie. She just didn't care about the Time Lords.
She's more concerned. She's more concerned about her science projects than she is about Gallifrey.
Yeah.
And bringing Gallifrey back is certainly a good science project.
Why is the God of Wishes a baby?
Why not?
Didn't grow up yet.
I think this is more for you, Mark. Better question. How did Unit got Prisoner Zero in one of their jail cells?
Good question. Possibility. They keep loads of stuff. And if they go through a black archives, they can't remember it. So who knows?
Patches Jimmy B. I got it I give it a 5. It's leaning towards Twilight Zone theme. Now the Poppy is the Doctor's kid, and now there's fence of her being that child at the portal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
but isn't Poppy older because of the age difference, and she can talk?
Well, she's just older. Full stop.
Like they froze her, but she's supposed to be 6, right?
No, that's not a 6-year-old.
No, meaning when they were on the ship, weren't they frozen? The Captain Poppy and the rest of the crew in Space Babies, they were frozen, and they were 6 years old, but they were still baby size.
We'd have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah,
it's timey-wimey.
Yeah, basically.
That's why I was wondering why she didn't say Ruby when she saw Ruby at the door. That would have been like, I would have loved to see that. Then that would have put more doubt in the Doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Commander and Maxwell situation where you have someone in universe with the same face of someone that will end up that the Doctor will end up taking the face of. At least that's how I would think about it.
And if you're talking
Hopefully we'll find
children,
out.
where's Jenny?
Hopefully we'll find out.
So yes,
Eric,
Poppy and
Edward
Jenny.
Isles says by itself 7 out of 10. Hopefully RTD will stick with the landing with this conclusion.
Yeah.
So
I think we all hope that.
He could throw everybody a 180 this Saturday. We don't know.
Yeah. What you don't know is the Candyman's coming back.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second, Pat. Just hang on. Oh, that's the sorry.
Is that the one I just sent, or is that?
No, totally different one. Hang on a second. I mean, you sent all these, but
I am so sorry. They
I see what
photobombed
you're
me.
saying. Now I understand what you're talking about.
Bring up
the
picture up with the clock.
The picture of the two Ronnies and the
yeah, I'm working on it right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me take patches.
Is that a French 7? Oh, it's a French 7.
Yeah.
A what? 7?
It's called a French 7.
Not in the UK. It's called a 7.
No, the line through it makes it a French 7.
Only in America.
Oui.
Yeah.
Dan Hollyfield from The Last Man Standing on his YouTube channel. Please check him out. Again, that's the Last Man Standing with Dan Hollyfield. I give the episode a high 8 just because it's a 2-parter.
So, Dan, does that mean it's 4 per episode?
Oh,
sorry.
Rose continues. He took the 5th Doctor's face in Amsterdam. Why Amsterdam? Got shot and fell into the water. I think, not sure what episode it was. Arc of Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Rose. Are you guys saying that they used AI scenes in the episode rather than CGI, or did Bad Wolf do both?
No, I don't think there was any AI scenes.
We're talking about the AI with the deep fakes that are going out there, the spoilers.
No, none of that.
Gotcha. All right. For the most part, I think that's all the chats or all the ratings. Candyman, I can answer that after the next episode airs. There you go.
Yeah.
Roger continues. It says, we also did a little scene with Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, on the TV after Rogue, I believe.
I think there was like a one brief.
It was a blip.
Yeah.
We still have to answer Susan too. Whew, we got a whole full book.
And 1 episode to do it in. Yay. Good luck.
Unless we are getting a season 3 and he puts all the plot holes. I mean, we find the ponds. That's why we have floods, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this is
go back to see the wife.
This is Doctor Who. We know there's going to be holes missing in it. That's the beauty of Doctor Who.
I want to see Jenny come back regenerated. I want to see Jenny come back regenerated, because if he's got Poppy saying she's the daughter, then we got to get Jenny regenerated.
Who knows? Maybe that's exactly what we've got. But we will find out.
And if he gets proven right on Saturday, what do you guys want?
I want to watch the episode. That's what I want.
I want to watch that episode with some chicken wings with some Kitchen Killer barbecue sauce.
Exactly.
There you go.
Your wish is my command. Boom.
You're making me hungry, guys.
Damn straight. By the way, those I went to Billy's house. Those are my ribs. That's my second attempt at making ribs.
You can't. Ooh, guys, get us to 100,000 so I have an excuse to get down there. Because Christian has promised me those. What is it, lupin and the spare ribs over the years and everything. He says, "Get down here, I'll make you this," and I'm like, "Ooh."
Lumpia. That was at Billy's house. So yeah, they're Billy Floyd of the Kitchen Killers. Check out his group, definitely. If you haven't checked out his music, of course you should.
Billy, if you're watching this, your next product is Kitchen Killer Spicy Ranch. Okay, listen to this. Spicy Ranch.
Is there a honey one? Do they make a honey one?
We only have the one now.
We only have the one for right now. Hopefully, maybe there'll be more if it gets popular.
I would love honey, like a honey mustard barbecue mix.
But I'm sure it's one of those that, you know what, you can add your own flavor to it if you'd like. If you want to make it a little more spicier, you could add more flavor. You can make it more sweeter.
Joy of barbecue sauce.
Exactly. This is mid-range down there. And of course, don't forget, you can get 10% off the Kitchen Killers barbecue sauce. Just email Billy at Kitchen Killers gmail.com and use promo code TARDIS in the subject line. Get 10% off your purchase. So there, we are now officially the first Doctor Who podcast to have barbecue sauce.
Too bad it doesn't have a little TARDIS on it.
That's their product. I don't want to take
exactly. So that kind of runs us to the end of the show.
Early.
90 minutes. That's early, on time as opposed to late. How about that?
Hey, Robert. I like watchmaker 4s. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm sorry.
The number, how you write a number, as opposed to like the 7.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, watchmaker 4s. I gotcha. And Timescales is hungry. Everybody else is hungry, so might as well just end this episode right now.
Yeah, we're
this one's
hungry. I'm going upstairs for supper. So let's just go through. Tell everyone, where can we find you? Zion, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Porygon's Pokédex, catching every Pokemon that's possible before Pokebank ends.
Excellent. And Gadget, where can we find you?
Everywhere and anywhere. Lulu.com, because I really need the money, guys. Please buy the books. They even have them at Walmart and Amazon and everything and stuff. And just keep fingers crossed on something, because I know you guys see something in the background. I don't have official yet, but might be an ambassador for a certain energy drink company called G Fuel. If this works out and everything, there is a special link I have for people, but I have to talk to Christian a little bit about it. But that might be another venture coming up. Plus, New York Comic-Con is, fingers crossed, next week being purchased, as well as I'll be at Anime NYC in August 21st through the 24th, August 2nd at the Bronx Comic-Con, and in a couple of weeks at the Build Expo at the Javits Center on the 17th and 18th. And I'll meet all the podcasters, photographers, and everybody. So if you're one of those, come out and say hi. I'll bring the TARDIS with me, if anything. All right?
Excellent. And Candyman, where do we find you?
Well, you can find me here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can find me at Spill the Geek Tea, where we have the guy next door of me, which should be that way, I think.
That way, yeah.
That way, okay. He's the one who runs it, and I just sit there and just talk absolutely random crap. No, it's a good show. Recommend to watch it. And it was quite good. So you can find me here and you can find me there.
Speaking of random crap, there we go. We've seen all this stuff behind you, Tom.
That was a Christian segue. What do you expect?
That's right.
That's
right.
Mine is all hiding behind the nice screen over there.
I said it. What are you going to do?
Well,
tell us what it be.
You won't find those two former co-hosts on the show, but you will find Mark and Dave and myself on Spill the Geek Tea every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can find me on my personal channel, Tasty Cake, but live Wednesdays and Saturdays, 5 p.m. Tasty Talk with Tasty Cake, as I do 4-hour shows on both days. Just carrying on, talking about nothing, but I'm good at that.
Excellent.
Simon,
and of course, you can find me on Spill the Geek Tea as well. We've been having a great time over there on Sundays. You can find me on my own channel, TheRatHole.CA. That link tree will give you pretty much all of my channels. If you want the YouTube directly, it is youtube.com/TheRatHole.CA. And starting a week from Thursday, so we're 9 days out, my new show, Happiness Patrol, and that channel is youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show. You can sign up now, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. The first episode has a landing page there. You can remind me when this goes live, and it's pre-recorded, so you don't have to worry. I mean, by all means, please converse in the chats, but it is a pre-recorded show once a month, so there's not a lot of time for you to invest, and it's the first episode where we talk about things that make us happy. None of the toxic fandom stuff, just joy. And we've started with Star Wars. Episode 1 for us is episode 1 of Star Wars. So tune in next Thursday to that. Please give me a subscribe, because I think I've got 10 people there already waiting for this episode, and I'd love to see it get a few more. Other than that, you can find me every week here on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and you can find The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS coming up at where, Christian?
Oh, well, hang on a second.
We had time for the segue.
No segue.
I'm about trying to get back into the group. How do I get back in?
The other button.
You know what? Forget it. I'll do it this way. There we go.
Yeah, just like that.
That's a much easier thing. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget, we're going to be at Space Coast Comic-Con over at the Wickham. Let me check that out. The Wickham Park Community Center. That's going to be taking place. And it's just a couple of weeks, isn't it? It's June 14th and the 15th. Get your tickets now at spacecoastcomiccon.com. If you got a geekdom, they got it out there. Somebody represented Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, anime, Pokemon, whatever. They've got a geekdom out there for you, and you can join in and make new friends and all that. And check it out. It's privately owned by Jake Estrada. And like I said, it's a nice little safe space for everybody to come out and play. Speaking of coming out and play, in September 12th to 14th, at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Ancient City Con. Get your tickets now at ancientcitycon.com. And we'll be also joined with the Dalek Builders of Florida. That's going to be exciting. Again, we're going to be joining forces as we go around. And be on the lookout for our Facebook page, YouTube channel, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, for any other updates that may be coming out there. And don't forget, we want to welcome our new sponsor. And here's your chance. If you want to get some great barbecue sauce, email Billy at kitchenkillers@gmail.com. Use promo code TARDIS for 10% off your order. We really want to sell these out over here. And trust me, it's really great tasting barbecue sauce. I would not promote it. You saw the picture of it out there. With my ribs. So that better help. I should have put that in the promo. But just in case, we'll give you one, just in case you missed it.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you send. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now and unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused. I'll sew in close. The spell stays unspoken. A dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down. I didn't listen to that voicemail. A TikTok that story you send. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
And we want to thank now at our YouTube channel, 61,400 subscribers. Please keep it going. Hopefully we'll hit 100K before the end of this year, and you can make it happen. Tell your friends, tell everybody to join, subscribe, and I believe that's it. So Dave, I love being in the corner. As everybody else, does anybody have any last thoughts before we go ahead and wrap it up?
What do you guys think? No, what do you guys think? What do you think?
I think we want. I think I can't wait for Saturday.
Yep, I think we wait for Saturday.
I'm thinking they're going to pull the wool over everybody's eyes.
I just want Omega or on Omega, whichever one it is, to just get out of the dimension and do something. I can't take another story of him saying, I'm going to get out. And I didn't get out again.
Mrs. Flood. So I'm going to say Mrs. Flood. She's going to have a bigger role.
Yes, we shall see.
Speaking of getting out, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We are getting out of here. We can't stay here, but we got to go. And anyway, but don't forget to say goodnight to Simon. And until the next venture, everybody, thank you for joining us. Tony, take us out.
Night, Simon.
Night,